helping you take charge of your money and your future. Visit thefinancialeducator.co.za.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. The Financial Educator, as you heard, absolutely. We'll be getting to some powerful conversations with him. This is Money Matters, Voice of the Cape, 91.3 FM studio. And we want you to take us along with you, inshallah ta'ala, on your journeys all around the world. You can get us on www.vocfm.co.za. Alternatively, you can also get us on the Google Play Store, VOC app, or you can get us on the iOS as well. Today being the 4th of November, Tuesday, powerful evening we're having. Alhamdulillah, we're launching a brand new weekly feature that is called Financial Fitness. With our financial educator, joining me is Anwar Barendse, certified financial planner, awarding debt counselor, and also a financial coach with 25 years of experience in banking, investment, and financial planning. We ask you to get with us online, also 0829913 You can relate to anything on the conversation with us. You can obviously ask your questions, and we encourage everybody to get involved in the conversation, because how do we take the right steps and make the right action without involvement and engagement? I'm so excited to introduce our new guest for the evening, taking us on the series. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Anwar. How are you doing?
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you, Brother Imtiaz. Yes, I am excited to start this journey with you and your listeners, where our aim is to help people understand money, how money works, make money work for you, and achieve what we call financial freedom.
Amen.
And I'm quite excited to be on the Voice of the Cape. My mother always told me, Anwar, you have a perfect face for radio, so
Wow.
I think we're going to have a good time here.
That's the same thing my grandmother told me.
They were both right.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Well, I mean, the accolades speak for itself. We're just really happy to have you here with us. And, you know, just before Maghrib, maybe you can just get into some of the conversations with us, just to talk a little bit about what are we going to be looking forward to for this particular episode. Like, what do you have in mind to share with us?
For this particular episode, I'd just like to share exactly, firstly, why we exist. So anybody knows Simon Sinek, they say you always start with the why. So we have a reason why we exist and what we do and who we serve. So obviously, as you can tell about financial fitness, what we're looking is taking our listeners on a journey where at the moment maybe they're not financially fit. Maybe they have a bit of a financial blood pressure or diabetes. And we're going to look at what do we have to do, the actual plan to get from wherever you are now to where you want to be, right? And a lot of time people say, oh, you need to budget, you need to do this. It's very general. What we're going to do is be very specific about the plan we're going to follow. And I'm also going to share a bit about my experiences dealing with people day to day with their financial lives, as well as my experience over the years, having spent quite a bit of time, whether it be advising people on their finances or even training financial advisors to advise their people on their finances.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like the way that you mentioned practical steps. I mean, that's all what we're on about here at the Money Matters program. We want to know, how can I make the change and what steps do I need to take? Because we want to be able to create that future and that vision for ourselves. Okay. Now, just to give everybody a little bit of a runner here, feeling like your money's running you instead of you running your money. Is that your caption?
I heard it somewhere. I'm not going to claim that authentic.
Okay.
So instead, somebody's going to tell me I'm plagiarizing, but
I mean,
I'll borrow it. I borrowed it.
I mean, that is something that is so real.
Yes.
It's either you are running your money or your money is running you. Like, what would that mean in its essence? Your money runs you.
In your essence, when your money is running you, it means that you have to chase around paying bills, not knowing where your money is, don't know, wake up not knowing where your money went, right? Yeah. You running your money is giving your money purpose, direction. And I know a lot of time people always say, oh, I don't earn enough if I earn more. What I found actually is the people, the worst financial habits are those earning more, because high incomes hide poor financial habits.
Wow.
So what you want to do is you want to give your money a plan, you want to give your money direction, and at the end of the month, you're going to know where your money went instead of wondering where it went.
Wow. okay, we obviously get into that conversation. When I'm looking at where your money went, it's 10 rands, 20 rands, 50s, 150s, 250s, that adds up to thousands.
I call it microtransactions. So
I see. Okay, so we have about 2 more minutes
Yes.
left. Okay, I want to just get into, if we can, set the scene for this evening, inshallah. You have this 25 years of experience in banking and financial planning. What has this particular journey involved?
So it started with me by accident, when I was young, many moons ago. It was default. If you don't know what to do, you do a BCom degree because you'll get a job somewhere.
Yeah.
Did that, and then by pure, let's just call it no intention, ended up working at a large financial institution, worked in banking, then financial planning, and eventually trained I was a financial advisor for quite a few years, but then I trained financial advisors as well as seeing clients. And what it gave me exposure to a wide variety of different South Africans, from the working class to the extremely wealthy, and see what are the financial challenges they face, but also how they achieve financial success.
Yeah.
So what I'm hoping to do is to bring what I've learned from others, much smarter and wiser from me, and hopefully bring it to your listeners as well.
So that is what you carry with you, all those years of interactions and engagements, but also, like you said, it's not only the problems that you picked up of what they are dealing with, but also how they handle those problems.
Exactly. And
And you
also,
have this diverse array of clients that you've seen over the years.
and like I said, from the client that is earning a large salary but still seems to live paycheck to paycheck, to the person earning
When you say large, what are we looking at?
100,000 plus,
100,000
living
plus.
paycheck to paycheck.
No.
Not, but when you go through the bank statement,
Yeah.
you pick up there's 3,000 a month on coffee. There's so much on takeaways. Your debit orders are bouncing. And it's quite harrowing. And then you find somebody earning a fifth of that, but they're sitting with a few 100,000 in a savings account, not knowing what to do with it.
Yeah. That duality is
Somebody
crazy.
earning 20,000 in a month, but they're sitting with 300,000-400,000 because they just don't spend money, and they're sitting in the bank account. It's just there.
Wow. And that takes us into our Maghrib, inshallah. Let's make some dua after our Maghrib.
Inshallah.
Allah will protect us from that, inshallah. But also, we need to take the actions to get there.
Exactly.
Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Brother Anwar, we'll come back after the Maghrib, inshallah ta'ala. Stay tuned.
This segment is for your future. Visit thefinancialeducator.co.za.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We are here, alhamdulillah, with financial fitness. We're getting our things ready. Wow, what do you need to get ready to plan for financial fitness? I'm talking about fitness. I'm putting on my running shoes. I'm warming up my arms, my shoulders, my legs, my back. I'm just getting into the swing of things. If I talk about financial fitness, my mind is going all over the place. But we have a financial planner and advisor here with us, alhamdulillah, and that is Brother Anwar, and he's going to be talking to us exactly what that entails, inshallah. So Anwar, let's start here by the certified financial planner conversation. For the listeners who might not know, what does that qualification actually mean?
Okay, so the Certified Financial Planner, or CFP as it's known, is basically a designation, a global recognized designation that you have attained the necessary education standards, experience, as well as ethics, very importantly ethics, to achieve this designation. In South Africa, this designation is handed out by the Financial Planning Institute. You also get in countries such as the US, UK, Australia, etc. And what it does is it just ensures that clients get professional, objective, and ethical guidance, right? So it is a designation to ascertain that you achieve these necessary, let's call it, criteria.
Okay, so you are governed and regulated by that board. You can't just do and say your own thing.
Correct, and you have to abide by something called a fiduciary duty, meaning your client always comes first. So if you are a CFP, belong to the Financial Planning Institute, you actually have to sign every year a code of ethics, as well as something that says that you always put the client's interest first in any conversation you have with him, not you or your interest first.
Accountable. And
100%.
You cannot go outside of what the guidelines have stipulated.
Correct.
Fantastic. If we are to look at debt counseling, okay, because we're talking about certified financial planners, but now we talk about debt counseling as well. What does this role involve, and who do you help?
So a debt counselor is someone that is licensed by the National Credit Regulator. Once again, there's a certain exams and qualifications and study you have to go through. Then you have to go through a licensing process to see once again that you are what's called fit and proper. You have the necessary experience, you have the necessary financial skills to help clients. And what it means is there are those people that are out there that's maybe struggling with a bit of debt. We call them over-indebted. They find themselves in a situation, life has happened, and they find they cannot survive on their income, not because the income is not sufficient, because the debt has become overwhelming. As a licensed debt counselor, I can actually negotiate on their behalf to reduce their payments, usually by a reduction in interest rates. And what it is basically, let's call it financial rehabilitation. But what we also do is not just reduce what they pay, is also to guide them on their journey so they actually become debt-free. So we walk the journey with them. We provide the resources, all the financial educator, the things we'll be discussing, the budgeting, the saving, how to control your money, how to say no to people.
Wow.
Right? So that is also, we combine what we'll talk about, the financial coaching, which is the habits and behavior, along with the ability to reduce somebody's debt burden if they find they cannot cope.
So how did you start your journey? I mean, did you first go into debt counseling, or did you start with financial planning?
So,
because I feel like the two is meant to complement each other.
So this is the funny thing, is that if you go to a lot of financial planners or people with financial planner designation, a lot of them aren't familiar, because typically when you talk about financial planning, you talk about financial advisors, which is they're there to build your wealth, they're there to help you invest for the long term, show you what insurance products are for your needs and your goals. But what if you are somebody that's actually not in a position to build your wealth? Why? Because you're faced by the burden of school fees and cost of living, and then it's your bond and your car, and you're just stuck there, literally living month to month. You're earning a good salary, the income is not the problem, you're earning month to month. Then I said, how could we, from a financial planning perspective, in inverted commas, assist these people? Because a financial advisor can only do so much. And this is where I came across.
Is that the difference, between the two? Between financial coaching and financial advising?
Exactly. So just to go on there, so financial advisor is a very specific term. So I need to correct you when you called me earlier financial advisor, just for the listeners that are listening. And those that do know me also, but Anwar, you're not a financial advisor, because it's a very specific term, right? So a lot of times people would call me that, but why specific in regards to something called the FASE Act, Financial Advice and Intermediate Service Act. What that means is a financial advisor is specifically somebody who is licensed and registered to provide guidance as well as sell you a financial product which meets a certain need. For example, you want to invest towards retirement, they may look at a retirement annuity and a portfolio and provide you with that. Whereas from a coach perspective, we look more at the habits and behaviors, right? We may encourage you to retire, save for retirement, but we're not going to provide that, but we're going to say, hang on, you want to invest towards retirement, but right now you don't have 2 cents to rub together at the end of the month. How do we open up money? How do we set up your budget? How do we track what you spend so you can have the money available to do those things?
The financial advisor comes and sells you the plan. The financial coach observes your behavior and your mental states and your spending and your earning, and then we able to map it out together, and let's see where we can.
So think of the day-to-day is the financial coach, and think of the long-term wealth building and preservation and protection is the financial advisor. So in fact, I work very closely with a lot of financial advisors. One advisor would say, Anwar, I send my broken clients to you so you can fix them
first, before they can take my
so maybe they maybe did well once upon a time and they came across a bit of bad luck or times. Then they say, Anwar, send him, fix him to me, and then I send them back where they can invest. At the same time, we do have coaching clients where I say, hang on, you need to sort out that thing because maybe you don't have income protection or you're not saving towards retirement, you got the money, or you need to go see a financial advisor. I can advise you to a colleague, etc. So I do work closely, and what I find is we actually creating a holistic offering to the client. So whether you are building wealth or whether you're finding yourself in a bit of a pickle, either way we can help you. And the most important thing is always done with a client first or client-centric approach, right? And that is where we find we make the difference, is to always put the client first. And often the advisor work also would follow the same approach, put the client first as opposed to see what products they can sell them.
Okay, very good. Very important to know the difference between the two, right? We must be very sure and careful of how we use the terms. I want to know about that 25-year experience, and I want to know about the award particularly. What was that about? How was
So the 25-year experience was mostly in the financial plan, let's call it the wealth part. The part where I started helping people in debt, and how it actually came about is I noticed post-COVID, a lot of financial advice saying, Anwar, people can't pay their investments, they were withdrawing from their policies, etc. And when I looked deep into this, I saw post-COVID, a lot of people who were once doing very well got into a bit of trouble. We all know what happened. People without work, they still had to pay bills, etc. And the more I saw it, I said, but hang on, the people that really need help, they don't have money to save. They don't have money to invest because they need to get themselves out of this problem. And when I started looking at statistics, what I saw was very shocking. To give you just a couple of numbers, 76% of households live paycheck to paycheck, meaning before payday there's less than 1,000 rand in your account, sometimes negative. Something like 45% of clients who have some type of credit or loans are at least 1 month behind. So African savings rates, the average saving rate of every South African, other than their pension money, you want to take a guess?
That's the saving rate.
Yeah, so what percentage of their income do they save, other than pension money? What do you think?
10%.
Try 0.5%.
0.5%.
0.5%. 0.5
is being put away for savings.
Correct.
For longer term.
So other than pension money, so some people have a pension, but other than that, 0.5%. Just to give you some idea, in a country like China, that figure sits at 50%.
No ways.
So
50%.
Yes. And when we looked at what causes us, you might think it is a lack of income. Not actually. It's often a lack of financial education, a lack of understanding how financial products work. Thinking that swiping a credit card is free money when it costs you actually double in interest. Or taking out an emergency loan, thinking it's saving you when it's actually going to pay double over a term. So not knowing that, also not looking at their bank statement. Just not knowing what's going on in your bank account. I mean, I've seen somebody whose car debit order bounced, but when I went through the bank statement, they were spending 2,500 rand on coffee. And I said, did you ever think about counting how much money you spend on coffee? And if you actually just spend half it, none of the debit orders will bounce. And it's professionals, people with degrees, people with the fancy credit cards.
We're
So
coming a lot back to coffee, eh? Coffee shops are going to hate us. But I mean, with proper planning.
I use coffee as an example because it's one of the simplest way to display what I call the microtransactions. You know, anybody that has kids that play games or have played games know the game is free, but it ends up costing you thousands because of every extra little gadget. So you think I'm not spending money because the 20 rand here or 30 rand there or this there, but at the end of the month it's 3, 4, 5,000 rand. And then you wonder where your money went. Right? So what we look at it, so what is it? Habits and behaviors. So that's why, how can you plan for someone like that long term when the daily habits and behaviors are first need to be fixed?
I'm one with you.
So you first want to fix that daily habits and behaviors, build up capacity to save, build up capacity to have an emergency fund, pay off that toxic credit card or that high interest rate loan, because that is what's robbing you of building to the future. And once you get to a point where you can say, I can build now, then you can start investing, you can start buying property, do all those type of things.
But I mean, that becomes quite a challenge mentally. If I'm now fixing a certain way of life, I have a particular lifestyle, I eat certain food now, I drink certain beverages now. So, I mean, you know, it becomes more of a mental game now also.
I would say it's actually 80% mental, right? So in the day of instant gratification, we would rather want to spend money. In fact, we don't even spend money now. We spend tomorrow's money today, because that's what happens when you spend on your credit card or take on your loan. We're not spending today's money, we're actually spending tomorrow's money. So we're taking from our future self, right? Now, we don't tend to think like that because we thought as long as you can make the monthly payments, you're fine, right? But we don't realize why must monthly payments go to bills when it can go to savings and investments and building yourself up. Now, you talk about it's actually your lifestyle, and that's a big thing. Like I said, lifestyle inflation. I got the promotion, which means I need to get the bigger car, which means my kids need to go to a nicer school, etc., etc.
Ripples from there.
Ripples from there, right? And what happens is it could also be your your mindset with regards to, oh, if I die, everything is gone. I don't want to, why must somebody else get my money? For argument's sake, all the type of stories that you are. One thing, they actually did a study, something called the marshmallow test. Don't know if you've heard about it. So what it showed is that one of the chief criteria in whether you will achieve financial success is delayed gratification. In other words, resist not spending now so that you can have more in the future. And how they proved it was something called the marshmallow test, where they took children, they put the marshmallow and they said, if you sit there for an hour and you don't eat it, you get a second one. Right? So some ate, some didn't. They went back 20 years later. Those that resisted the marshmallow and got the second one were on average better off financially than those that didn't, because they could resist delayed temptation. So what does that mean? I go now into a shop, I see that thing that I never planned to buy, and for somehow I need to have it in my life. And I think, you know what, let me just swipe the credit card. And this is me speaking to myself. So I'm not going to throw, stones at glass houses, because this is human action. We see that, it's Black Friday, it's that TV, I'm never going to get it again. Let me swipe my card, I can worry about paying it later. Times that by 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, all of a sudden you're sitting with a huge credit card bill and a lot of rubbish that you bought.
Yeah.
And
this is the real talks.
This is it.
And we're getting very quick, actually.
And what we find is habits and behaviors. Right? That habit, I can just pay it off. That behavior, why must I save? That's tomorrow's problem. Right? Now, if we don't fix the mindset, anything else that comes after doesn't matter. It's like, say if you want to get fit once again, you can join the gym membership, you can buy the supplements, you can get the gym outfits, but if you don't have the mindset that you're going to get up, get in your car and go to gym 3-4 times a week, because it's mental, you're not going to get the results. So the same thing, you can have all these plans, but if your mind isn't set that you're going to change the way you work with money and be purposeful with your money. Because how often don't we spend money on expensive things, but not for ourselves, to show others? And we put ourselves at great distress in doing so. And so what we want to do is we want to dissociate money from emotion and from trauma, because often our money habits are linked to trauma. So what do? You ever saw the movie Confessions of a Shopaholic?
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I don't think I clocked me by.
Where her trauma, where she couldn't have that things when she was young, when she was an adult, she wanted to buy everything because grew up, no. Now I'm an adult, I have this magic thing called a credit card, now I can do whatever I want. Right? So there's various reasons why we behave we do. We can also have some interesting discussions, stuff like neurodiversity, where some people are actually wired to spend, impulsive personalities, that can also affect your habits. And then there are people that actually are good with their money, and we try to learn what is it that made them good with their money as well. So it's not just the bad. So I don't want to make sure it's not just bad. So I've seen people that would earn 15, 20,000 rand and they're sitting with a couple of 100,000 in the bank account and they have not a stress in their life.
Unbelievable.
Because they're very meticulous in what they do with their money.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a lot to cover, but like I said, education is the foundation of it all, right? Because without knowing what to do, how are we actually going to do it?
Without knowing what to do, how can you actually do it? So if you're not learning how to save and to spend and to combat the mental game, it will be very tough for you without learning it.
This segment is brought to you by the Financial Educator, helping you take charge of your money and your future. Visit thefinancialeducator.co.za.
Well, there's one thing that we can tell you, and that is at the Financial Educator, we believe that your finances should work for you, whether it's getting out of debt, building a budget that breathes, or planning for the life you really want. Our expert coaches guide you every step of the way, one-on-one support digital courses you can follow at your pace, debt counseling you can trust. Don't wait, take charge today. Visit financialeducator.co.za. Tailor-made, that's a hyphen, tailor-made financial clarity is closer than you think. The Financial Educator, your partner in smart money decisions, because when you understand your money, you own your future. Well, I mean, I like that. I mean, that's brilliant. I'm going to do one more time, actually, just before we end. I mean, I feel like that has been put together crispy. Fantastic stuff. So, Brother Anwar, we have the next few weeks together, alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with your presence. And also, we're going to be looking into tailor-making each conversation specifically to deal with better financial decisions.
Correct, yeah.
So we have some topics here that we're going to be going through. Talk to us about the financial fitness framework. Bismillah.
So what I find is, like any type of, for example, financial fitness, it's all fine and well to say, eat healthy, go train. But what do you train on which day? What exercises you do? What meals do you eat, etc. So what I felt is to lay it out map by map. So basically this is your roadmap to financial fitness.
Okay.
Starting with the most foundational part, which is awareness, knowing your numbers and knowing your money mindset. You need to know who you are and what your numbers are, right? Your income, expenses, your assets and liabilities. From there, you need to have clarity. In other words, you need to set goals, what we call SMART goals, which we'll discuss more. Meaning, goals give your money direction. If your money doesn't have direction, it's going to be spent on any old nonsense. If you know you want to go on Hajj, you want to save for a deposit house, you can then give your money direction. Mm-hmm. From there, once you know where your money wants to go, now you plan your budget. So you get control of where your money goes. So budget is you controlling your money, not wondering where your money went, right? From there, once you got control of your budget, everybody needs to build what we call the primary financial foundation, which is an emergency fund. Your emergency fund is not if, but when something goes wrong, you will have money available to sort it out, not have to dip into a credit card or a loan or anything of that nature. Mm-hmm. Once you got your foundation sorted out, then you have to go for a bit of a debt detox. So we're talking those high interest rate loans, those credit cards, those personals that is charging you 20%, 25%, that is robbing you of your wealth and of your future. We do understand there's certain type of debt like home loans and cars that are sometimes unavoidable, but more we're talking about your store cards, your credit cards, etc. Now that you got that sorted, you also need to protect what you have, whether it's your income, whether it's your assets, your vehicle house. So we're going to talk about what protection is and what needs to be protected and what maybe is unnecessary. Mm-hmm. Now, the one thing also, finance isn't always about saving money. It's also about making more money. Okay. So important part of the financial fitness frame is say, hang on, you can only save so much, you can only cut down so much, but your income that you can generate is essentially unlimited. Yeah. So also encourage how to generate and get more income, whether it's through side hustles, entrepreneurship, etc. Yeah. Once you got that extra money going, what you need to do? You obviously need to build your assets. Understand what investments are, how investments work, not get caught by scams and get rich quick schemes.
I thought you just put all the words together. I thought you wanted something better.
The shorthand.
Yeah,
short speak.
Teaching you more words every day.
Yes, making our own words. And once you've done that is to leave a legacy. So what is a legacy is building intergenerational wealth. And we often hear that, but how do we actually do that? How do we give our children, our grandchildren a head start in life? Not just through assets, but also through knowledge as well. And I think that's the most important thing is if you can leave a legacy, then, you can say that, at least you left something behind that not just one generation, but multiple generations can benefit. And if it's to speak about legacy, about an interesting story. So I saw now on YouTube that the wealthiest woman in the Netherlands, her wealth goes back to the VOC, not the Voice of the Cape, but the Dutch East India Company. So 400 years of intergenerational wealth that just accumulated generation after generation after generation. Now, who's to say we're not the start of that generational wealth? But it starts with daily habits.
Look, Anwar, wow, that is honestly some next level vision to put forward. If you're able to determine something that I'm doing today that can potentially set my family up for years to come. I mean, that is the kind of barakah,
Indeed.
that we can invite into our lives, because there's always this kind of hesitance when it comes to money conversations, right?
Yes.
And we had an imam here now the past few weeks ago, and he said, you know what, money does matter, because even in Al-Quran, it's called like a gift, a blessing, something that is, giving for your life, right? So just in light of our first, I love that story that you mentioned about, that's just a vision that we can really set for ourselves, a goal to have. And you talking about now, I know we're going to have this conversation again, you're talking about intergenerational wealth. Is there such a thing as intergenerational poverty?
Well, not only is there something like that, but it's actually much more prolific
My God.
than what we can imagine.
But that's obviously in the next conversation,
Yes.
right? So, okay, Brother Anwar, let's get to it very quickly. I want to run a very quick conversation, like maybe a short 1 minute, just to talk about awareness. Awareness and knowing your numbers. Give me some questions to consider why awareness is so important.
So firstly, you can't measure what you don't know, right? So you need to know what's coming in every month. You need to know what's leaving your bank every month, where is it going to, which, trust me, a lot of people don't. You need to know what you own, what is your assets, and what do you owe, what's your liabilities. That's your starting point.